So my mom's Italian, and I grew up cooking risotto at home, and one of the things I always remember is standing on a little stool next to her in the kitchen and just, helping her stir. And when I was about 22, my twin sister and I decided to make a big pot of risotto for New Year's because we were like, oh, this is like a fancy, sophisticated dish, like, let's make something special.
Risotto, I can't say it quite the Italian way.
You say it perfectly.
It always sounded so fancy to me when I was also in my early 20s, and also when cooking on TV became really popular, and it seemed like what chefs were always making. But then the first time I made it, I realized it's actually really fun and easy to make. The first time that I made it was with my husband, so I think it's really great for a date because as you can see, we're gonna get really cozy and spend a lot of time in front of the stove. So we have our essential risotto making ingredients, of course wine, and we have a dry white from Bet the Farm, which is just down the road from our farm. We also have spinach. This actually, we saved it from our Thanksgiving turkey.
Nice.
And homemade stock will add a lot of flavor. If you're a vegetarian, you can use a vegetable stock. The short grain arborio rice. And we have a local hard goat cheese called Cayuga Gold.
Cayuga Gold from Lively Run Goat Dairy, and it is phenomenal. So we're using oyster mushrooms. Look at these beautiful mushrooms. We're gonna put a pat of butter, about 1 tablespoon of butter, in the pot that we're gonna cook the risotto. And the reason we're starting by preparing the vegetables in this pot is because, as Tracy pointed out, then you're dirtying less dishes and you can just go ahead and start the risotto in here.
Even though it's like really fancy, this still counts as a one-pot meal. And eventually I think it could be weeknight friendly for anyone.
So we're gonna start making the risotto. The first step is to add the butter to the pot that's already warm. All right, I think we're ready to go ahead and put in our onions and garlic. Okay, so we've got the onions in,
The garlic.
great. It smells so good. And so we're just gonna stir this until it starts to sweat, right?
The onions get a little translucent, and then next up will be the rice, which it needs to be coated in butter, right?
Yep, so the point of putting the rice in before you add liquid is that you want every one of these grains to get coated in butter.
We're ready for the wine?
I think so. All the grains look like they're covered in butter and everything looks glistening.
And of course, some wine for the cook.
Yes, please. Stirring the risotto actually does get that creamy, almost soupy final dish. You really don't want a risotto that's like a hard ball and that, is really sticky.
Yeah.
You want it to be almost like there is cream in there. And so you do need to stir, but you don't have to be vigorously stirring the whole time. You can just kind of take a break, pour yourself another glass of wine. Yeah, take turns. Your arm might get tired.
That's good for having a partner.
Yep.
Doing kind of mother, kind of traditional. I've kind of learned by error, but I usually watch for the liquid kind of at the edges to start disappearing.
That's perfect.
And you can really see it simmering.
Yeah.
I like to add the vegetables in usually with the last pour or ladle of stock. Anything that is pre-cooked, like the mushrooms, I would just put them in with the cheese so they don't overcook.
The dish that you choose for serving risotto is very important, and my mom always says that you want to choose a shallow dish because risotto is hot. It retains all that heat inside. So the shallower the dish, the cooler it is for you to eat. Also, it's very important to serve risotto with extra cheese if you're eating cheese, but it's just a great garnish to add, and with the risotto, the more cheese, the better.
This looks great.
It looks
You
amazing.
ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready to take a bite.
Cheers.
So fun cooking with you.
You too. Thanks
Bon
for coming
appetit.
by.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Perfect. Are we still filming?
You can taste the goat cheese a little bit.
Now Emma and I will finish the wine and eat this
Yeah,
whole thing of
exactly.
risotto.